It's Peaches here, and this is Peaches Pit Party, the podcast. A lot of puh sounds with that title. A replay of today's full show, which you can hear weekday afternoons live on K-Barrel 101. I hope you like what I have to say, and if not, well, then I'm sorry, not sorry. Enjoy. All right, here we are, Friday, November 1st, 2024. How are we feeling, huh? Did you overload on candy last night? I had some pieces. Last night, I did this weird thing called reverse trick-or-treating. I instead went around and gave out candy to those people that mean a lot to me. And I went to Victor's place firsthand, got him a can of chili because he was talking about it yesterday, how like his mom used to make chili every Halloween, and I felt bad that he was going to be by himself making his own chili. And we talked about the Wendy's chili that's available in a can. Went to Walmart. I saw how expensive that was, $4.50 for a can of chili. You're out of your mind, Wendy. But I still got it for him. Dropped it off at his place. He gave me a few pieces of candy in his little ghost popcorn bucket that he had. Then he dropped off these, one of my favorite treats of all time, chocolate oranges to a few people. And, oh, man, I love those chocolate oranges. I was about to get one for myself, but a few nights ago, I ate one of those, was it last week? Yeah, last week I ate one of those chocolate oranges from Winco. And ate the entire thing right before bed. Could not fall asleep till like 3 a.m. for whatever reason. So I now avoid those once it reaches past like 7 p.m. thinking it's going to directly affect my sleep cycle for whatever reason. I'm just paranoid like that. Once it happens to me once, I never do it again. If you want to get a hold of me, 208-535-1015. That is the number to do so. Make sure, by the way, that you have the K-Barrel 101 and Alt 101 apps on your phone, because pretty soon here, we'll be launching another concert ticket giveaway, and we don't want you to miss out, because right as that giveaway starts, that's when I send out the push notification to be like, hey, we're giving away tickets to insert band name here. Sign up now. Download both those apps. If you haven't done so already, if you've done it already, thank you. Appreciate it. K-Barrel 101, do not forget this weekend, Sunday, November 3rd at 2 a.m., is when we gain an extra hour. We fall back. Thanks to Brent Gordon Law, we gave away that Nintendo Switch bundle to one lucky listener. And it's sort of a prize to all of us that we get to just, fall back an hour, gain an extra hour of sleep, gain an extra hour of Jenk Show. Now, I highly recommend sleeping in Saturday into Sunday, because that's the only time really to do so unless you work weekends. If you work weekends, we appreciate you big time for doing so. But for the most part, for most of us, sleeping in on the weekends is the only thing you can do, because, Monday comes around, Sunday night into Monday, I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to get ready for work. Starts at 8, goes till 5. Then I won't be able to sleep in again until next weekend. Gaining that extra hour will really help. And I'm hoping daylight saving time just goes away forever, but it's highly unlikely, because you know how slow things are when it comes to Washington, D.C. I'm not going to get political on the show, but yeah, looks like we'll be doing daylight saving till forever, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to remind you, in case you had a clock that was not already connected to the internet, make sure to adjust those this weekend. Make sure to have them fall back an hour. Peaches Pit Party on K-Barrel 101, Idaho's only rock station. I've seen plenty of stories like this in the past. For a while there, back when I used to work at In-N-Out for about 3 years, I worked there, in case you didn't know that. But there was a whole Instagram page called In-N-Out Road Trip. That's what it was called. And it was a family going from one In-N-Out to the next, to the next, to the next, until they visited all the In-N-Out locations across the country. There was a YouTube video that I watched last year of two guys who went to every rainforest cafe there is in the United States. Now, this guy named Jason Halkias of Davenport, Iowa, he decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to visit all 224 locations of this restaurant chain called Pizza Ranch. No idea what Pizza Ranch even is. Sounds like a delicious place. I myself love dipping my pizza crust into ranch. Over the past decade, he's traveled to 14 different states and recently celebrated his final stop at the location in Sioux Center, Iowa, about 5 hours from his home. The finish line has been crossed, he wrote on Facebook, to announce his victory to the world. Congratulations, Jason. You went to over 200 pizza restaurants. How's that cholesterol? K-Barrel 101, Idaho's only rock station. If you're a newbie like me in the kitchen, you have absolutely no idea how to do most things in there. Like, sure, you can cook yourself up a nice chicken breast, maybe even a steak, but you have no idea how to prepare a Thanksgiving dinner. Well, Halloween's officially over. It is November, which means it's time to start talking turkey. That's right. The turkey hotlines open today. They bring these back every year. The experts at Butterball and Jenny O are ready to field any questions and concerns you have about the turkey this year. This includes questions about buying a turkey, how to cook it, stuff it, brine it, what to do with the leftovers. Now, if you're into turkey, this is perfect for you. I myself do not want any turkey on Thanksgiving. I think for this year, I might just stay here in the area and then go home for Christmas. And I might just make myself some nice tacos or something like that and really be thankful that tacos exist. I prefer tacos way over any turkey-related dish. I do like myself a nice turkey sub, but then yet again, that's covered in condiments and toppings and all that in the sandwich. Turkey by itself? No, thank you. It's not that great. That's why I consider Thanksgiving to be an overrated holiday. That's just me. I'm not the biggest fan of eating dinner at 3 p.m. and that dinner being turkey, stuffing, all that stuff. And you have that awkward family get-together where your extended family partially knows what you do for a living. And they go like, so what's it like being an announcer on the radio? And then they'll either say like, oh, that's cool. Or I myself, I don't really listen to the radio. I prefer Pandora, something like that. That's why there's plenty of reasons why I dislike Thanksgiving. I'm not going to list them all here, but there's just a few for you. October was a month of turmoil in the WNBA as 7 teams fired or quote unquote parted ways with their coaches. 4 teams also parted ways with their general managers over the same period. While there are plenty of reasons for all the changes, the big moves face more scrutiny than ever because of the big boost in popularity that the WNBA enjoyed this season. We'll see how these changes end up shaping the upcoming season when the teams get back together in the spring. More basketball news here. Netflix has announced that Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Halliburton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and James Harden are the NBA players featured in Season 2 of the documentary series Starting 5. The first season, which debuted on October 9th, covered the 2023-2024 seasons of LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, Jimmy Butler, Domantas Sabonis, and Jason Tatum. In pro football news, NFL head coaches might want to rethink going for the 2-point conversion this season. Teams are 18 for 58 on 2-point conversions so far, which is a success rate of just 31%. That's well below last season when teams had a 55% success rate. In the 30 years that the 2-point conversion has been used in the NFL, teams have usually succeeded just over half the time. The New York Giants are bringing down the success rate by themselves as they've gone 0 for 4 so far. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. I realized after work today, I'm going to have to basically take down all the Halloween decorations. By that, I mean just a few things inside. I was thinking about going to Walmart yesterday. I was talking about it with a few of my friends. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show yesterday or not, but I was mentioning how I have a new futon, new couch in my living room, and the old couch is now gone. I mentioned that on the air. But I don't know if I mentioned the fact that I was going to go to Walmart after work yesterday and go get some throw pillows for the couch and get a nice seasonal candle for the living room. Man, my life is boring. Jade and Victor, they like to tell me, hey, be more personal on the air. Well, this is me being personal with you. Talking about how usually, for the most part, I'm here. And then when I'm not here on the weekends and in the evenings of the weekdays, I'm just sitting at home, cleaning, doing things around there. I'm the best to not get in trouble. That's essentially it. You know how some radio DJs will do everything but be good. They'll go out and party and stuff and put out a bad name for themselves. Not me. I just go home and clean for the most part. K-Bear 101, I was reading here that, most kids after Halloween, within a week, finish their entire Halloween haul. And 25% will finish it all by today. That means their Halloween haul is pretty small. There's no way I was finishing all my candy the day after Halloween, back when I used to trick or treat. No way. Absolutely no way. And I've talked about it on the show before about the how my parents would say, hey, do you want to donate half of your candy to the big pumpkin and get money in exchange? And back then I was like, I don't need the money. Now I'm like, I desperately need the money. Come on. I wish trick-or-treating happened at this age. Come on now. But yeah, there was no way I was finishing all of that candy. I used to have so much. I used to go from house to house to house to house to house for hours. It didn't matter. Once we reached about 9:30, that's when we're like, okay, let's cut it off. Then we'd start trick or treating around like 5:30. Be out there walking around, going from house to house. And there was one lady in the neighborhood that was a teacher, and she would, you would say trick or treat. She would open up her front door. There'd be all these different cards and candies and all that. She had a giant setup. It was really cool. It was real sad to see all the posts yesterday, or even made this morning, about how somebody's candy bowl was stolen. There was a lot of people who had stolen candy bowls. And I was never a fan of putting out a bowl that says, hey, please take one. Because, again, people are not going to listen, especially now, and either take the whole bowl or just take the candy and the bowl. No. K-Bear 101, I will not ask this question for Teach Their Own, because I know I'll get a lot of angry callers for this one. I've already seen a few people in the drive-thru ahead of me. Whenever somebody asks, hey, would you like to round up to support insert charity name here? There was one time I was behind somebody in like a giant lifted truck that just screamed out, no, that's a scam. I'm not rounding up. Like he full on screamed it. Like everybody heard him. Well, I could ask the question for Teach Their Own. I'm not going to. Would you tip a robot? This TikToker had this interesting question. Do we need to tip the robot servers even though she took her own order and a robot just simply brought out her meal? Her receipt still suggested leaving a tip. So she said in the video, I admit the food was quite tasty, but the suggested tip is anywhere from $13 to $18.69. What would you tip? And obviously, a lot of comments going, 0. If they want to replace workers with robots to save money, 0. I'm not tipping owners for automating jobs. It's true. I've seen a few restaurants at my old parents' neighborhood replace some. I don't think they replaced servers. I think they just have this extra additional robot that slowly brings out the food, and it'll do like a happy birthday tune if you tell it it's your birthday. That's about it. They named the robot Rosie. It would be funny to watch somebody in a restaurant just get overly mad that, this robot's just bringing out their food. I'm not tipping you. Kicks the robot over. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. More and more of these elementary schools have been banning slip-on Croc shoes due to safety concerns. Now, at first, I just read the headline, schools are banning Crocs, and I'm like, wait, why? Do they just hate them? It makes sense. Back when I was in elementary school, I would always fall. I'd be running somewhere, trip, skid my knees all across the concrete. The Crocs, they're just causing kids to fall. That's about it. All shoes must have a strap or back at the heel. No Crocs allowed is what this dress code policy says for LaBelle Middle School in Florida. The bans have sparked backlash on social media with young people pretending to dramatically fall while wearing Crocs. Some podiatrist, Dr. Megan Leahy, says the shoe does not provide arch support and can keep moisture on the skin. I mean, if the school says it, I guess. I mean, what are they going to do? Have a Croc out and have all the students wear Crocs and protest to them banning Crocs? Every kid would just look silly. Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. I love stupid surveys for some reason that just, I don't know why they're put out there. And they're most importantly used by a lot of radio shows. And I was scrolling the radio prep, looking at this one, the worst airline seat, why any seat could just ruin your flight. Supposedly, they tried looking for the worst airline seat possible, found out that it could just be the worst seat on a flight can be anywhere if the passenger next to you doesn't use headphones. That's what they're trying to get at. There's no exact seat. I would say me having to sit next to the person that has the screaming baby, that's the worst seat. The headphones thing, I have my own headphones. I can block out their phone with my music and stuff, but a screaming baby is a screaming baby. Especially if you're sitting right next to them, they're going to be loud, louder than anybody's phone. Plus, the last flight that I was on, I was next to that mom with the screaming baby where the kid started to kick me. Yeah, and the mom didn't even nudge. She was just like, let the kid be a kid. The baby's a baby. What can I do about it? Like, no, the husband's in the seat to the left of her, farther away from me. Just hand the baby over to him, and that would have been better. A plumbing issue at a Pennsylvania casino is alleged to have created a very messy situation, with one woman playing slots at the property claiming to have been covered in a big mess. I'm not going to go into detail on what she was covered with, but I'm sure you get the idea. She has now sued, arguing that the experience left her in the hospital for over 2 weeks. She was playing slots with her husband at Live Casino at the Westmoreland Mall in Pittsburgh on July 28th when this overhead pipe in the facility just burst, drenching her in all that stuff. The lawsuit alleges she has contracted a very serious illness and was in the hospital for 15 days. Yikes. You got to be careful. I don't know what to say about this, because it's like there's so many jokes I could make, but they're not radio appropriate. I bet she is one of those ladies, though. Her name's Rita. I bet she's one of those that's addicted to gambling. So this might cure her gambling addiction. She might be like terrified to go into any casino in the future, and she'll be like constantly looking up to see if there's a pipe above her, and if there is, she'll try to move to another slot machine. I'm trying to be hopeful for this story. Maybe this will cure her gambling addiction. I'm not saying she already has one, but if you're going to the Live Casino at the Westmoreland Mall in Pittsburgh just to play slots, something tells me you're just wasting money and you have a gambling problem. Apparently, North America has a new oldest person. Congrats. Yay. She's 114 years old. She's from Pennsylvania. I just talked about literally a Pennsylvania woman that was just covered in a big mess for what the headline. Now we're talking about another Pennsylvania woman who's over a century old. Naomi Whitehead. She lives in a senior care community in Greenville, attained the status after Elizabeth Francis of Texas died earlier this month. Do you think she was waiting for this moment? She was like, I could be the oldest person here in the U.S. I'm just waiting for my competitor to die. She says Whitehead has said she never smoked or drank alcohol before. She was born in September on 1910 on a farm in Georgia and has outlived her longtime husband and her 3 sons. Wow, could you imagine that? She's probably very lonely. She's in a wheelchair. I'm looking at the picture of her here. I want to know what life is like through her eyes right now. Does she go into Walmart and get blown away? I just went to Best Buy to pick up the Nintendo Switch for our giveaway, and like I was looking at this 98-inch television, and that blew me away. I'm 28 years old. I'm much, much younger compared to this lady who's 114. Back then, there was no TV when she was born. I don't think. No, there was TV, but it wasn't like something you'd have in your home. Eventually, when she got to like her 20s, that's when TV became sort of normal in the house. But yeah, now you have TVs in multiple rooms in almost every house. One of them is like the biggest one for everybody to be entertained by. The other ones are just secondary televisions. I have 2. I'm trying to get rid of the second one. I have my main 55-inch television. But yeah, I went into Best Buy and saw this 98-inch TV. And I'm like, 98 inches. What TV stand can even hold that? And if this lady were to see that TV, would she just lose her mind? Would she be blown away? It'd be really cool to interview her. Someone fly her out here. Idaho's only rock station, K-Bear 101. If you're looking to make some extra money this holiday season, instead of what they call donating plasma, I've seen people do that, even though it's not technically donating, because if you donate something, you're not expecting anything in return. They pay you for your plasma. I don't know why it's called donate plasma or donating plasma, but if you're looking to make money this holiday season, this small business owner and TikToker, Christmas Light Contractor, that's their username, they reveal just hanging lights on trees and homes for people who might not want to climb a ladder. That's the perfect thing to do. To start, the business owner suggests investing in extension cords, a ladder, and string lights. A TikTok posted by the business says it takes about 10 minutes to put lights up on a tree, recommends charging a per tree rate. Something for you there, I guess. I mean, am I going to want to do that? No, I already work too much here. I don't necessarily want to have more work to do. Thank you. But something you could do. There you go. Time for To Peach Their Own. Time for me to ask you a question. You let me know your answer at 208-535-1015. I did see this question here and figured, why not ask it? It was in the radio prep. Figured you could have your own answer for this one. What is something you think you're better at than the average person? Think of something there. I don't know why my dad said complaining. He wrote that himself. I'm like, I'm worse at that compared to he is. I would think. We have loyal listener Captain Zach putting away shopping carts properly. Most people just leave them there. I remember that one lady in the news that just simply said, I'm not putting my cart back because I got kids in the car. And she said car in a very weird way that still bothers me. Going back to the whole complaining thing, that's still stuck in my head. James wrote snowboarding. I could not snowboard to save my life. It'd be bad to see me try to snowboard. What is something you think you're better at than the average person? 208-535-1015. Let me know that answer for the Peach Theron. What is something you think you're better at than the average person? Let's go to the phones here. K-Bear, what's going on?
Not much. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. What's something you think you're better at than the average person?
Me and my son are both going to answer this one. Pinball.
There we go.
Pinball machines.
You should.
We locally support our arcade here in Pocatello, Idaho, and go and play religiously every week.
Is there any? Are there any versions, or are there any pinball tournaments out there that you think you could enter and beat everybody?
It'd be nice if they could create one of those.
Might as well start your own. Do an open challenge right now to say, hey, anybody here in Pocatello think they can? Anybody here in East Idaho think they can beat me at pinball? Do it. Try to.
My son Donovan would like to take him on Pinbot at that arcade.
Hey, K-Bear, what's going on?
Not too much. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. James, how was your Halloween?
Oh, no, pretty uneventful. Went around trick-or-treating with the kid, and sadly disappointed at the amount of people giving out candy in my neighborhood.
Did you tell them to step it up or do better, as what a lot of people like to say in the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group? Do better to, everyone?
No, I just say do better for your own self. But
yeah, there
that's
you go.
Usually where I'm at.
Right. What is something you think you're better at than the average person, James?
Angering my wife.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Nobody can do it like I can. I can do it without even trying.
You mean your wife specifically, or anybody's wife in general?
My wife specifically.
Okay, there you go.
Other people's wives, they usually just go, ha ha, not my problem.
But this one takes it personally.
Yes.
But at least you're not that person that goes, happy wife, happy life, and, lives by that phrase.
You got to keep things interesting. I mean, if there's not like a sense of death somewhere around you at all times, it's just no fun.
Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.